Hey everybody. So today we're going to take a look at the new Diamond Select black hole figures. This is Vincent and Old Bob, and I love it. These things just came out. I've had these on pre-order for 7 months, and I just got them in. And I also did a video reviewing the Maximilian figure, so you can check that out. So these are the new Diamond Select figures. I think it's great. I love that Diamond Select has uh, decided to make figures from the black hole because so little black hole merchandise is out there. So it's nice to be able to get these, and they're pretty nice. They're much larger than I thought they were going to be, and they're certainly bigger than any of the past figures that we've gotten. So, for example, this is the original 1979 Vincent figure. I actually have two of these. I bought these when the movie came out, and I've taken very good care of them because most of the time when you find these things are broken off or missing, but I still have mine intact. Still have the original stand, which is actually yellowing because of how old it is, but you can see the size difference between this one and that one. And then I also have the Mego, I'm not Mego, the Metacom. These are the Metacom ones. These ones came out, I'm not really sure. It was several years ago. And I really like these because they were bigger than the original. But now these ones are even bigger than that. So, yeah, that's really cool. So that's kind of the size difference there in case you're wondering. If you have all of these, that'll kind of give you an idea of how big these guys are. And actually, here's the Metacom of Old Bob. And you can see the size difference with Bob here. So, yeah. All right, so actually here's a ruler. So not measuring Vincent's extended legs right there because normally his legs are retracted. He's probably about, I'd say 3.5 inches. And then measuring Bob, he does have this extended all the time, so we'll go ahead and include that. And he's about 4 inches tall. So that gives you an idea of their height. All right, so let's take a closer look. I'll get them closer. We'll start with Bob here. So here's Bob, and I love it. You can see all the little dents and dings. He looks really, really good. I love it. You can see all the all the detail on the side here. He's really beat up, isn't he? Poor Bob. I feel sorry for Bob. He was really abused in that movie. I mean, that's how he got to be that way. And I feel sad. It was probably one of the saddest robot death scenes is when he dies, and you see Vincent here, and he turns around and he goes away, and as he goes away, you can see his head turn, and gives him one last look before he leaves that area. And it's for considering that these guys don't really have a lot of facial expression, they got a lot of emotion out of that little scene, and also the fact that Slim Pickens did the voice of Bob, and Roddy McDowell did the voice of Vincent, so that helped as well. Let's take a closer look here at Vincent, so you can see. Now, when you get these out of the package, this is the way Vincent is set up. He's got these little claw things sticking out of the side, and he's got these leg things extended. I'm not going to display them like this, but I just thought I would show that this is how he looks when you first get him. But here you can see all this. Sorry, he's kind of slipping off of this thing here. But you can see all the detail. They did a good job painting it. He's got a nice chrome finish. And the details are really good. I mean, they really got some nice details on his, the little decals on there. And the writing is all in there. Looks really good. All right, so now let me bring them both in here again. Okay, so now they come with a ton of, well, mainly it's Vincent. He comes with a ton of cool little extras here. So first of all, you have these already sticking out right here. So actually, let's look at him exclusively for right now. So you can actually take these out, and they're kind of in there, kind of tight, but that's okay. And, and then that leaves this opening right here. So they give you these little things right here. These are the little covers that go on his side. I hope that's focusing okay. And then they just kind of snap in here like this. once they're in here, they're not that easy to get out. They leave a little, well, apparently they're not that easy to get in either. No, just kidding. All right, so there's that. They do leave a little nail hole right here that you can kind of get your nail in to take it out. Then here, let me put the other one in. And they just kind of snap in. There's like a little peg and a hole. So there we go. Yeah, it looks better. I don't like the arms sticking out, so I'm definitely going to keep those in, since that's the way you see them most of the time. And then also for these things, his little extended legs there. So I think he only had those out once or twice during the movie, but you can just pop these out. And then you have these. These are kind of cool. They're like a little, you know, that's the way they normally look when they're retracted. And he's got this little hole in there. Just put that in. And then this one comes out. Let me go grab the other one here. All right. Now he's looking more like he normally does. Those actually go in nice and easy. So I like the way those are. So now, yeah, that looks more like you normally see them. Very nice. All right, so let's see what else. Okay, so he also has his little claws that are usually retracted right in here. So they have these little doors that open like this, which I think are really neat. By the way, there is no instructions on these, which is really frustrating because you have to kind of muddle your way through and figure everything out. And for people who may not be familiar with all these things or know what all this is, they're not going to know where all this goes. So it's I really think they kind of should have done some kind of instructions. So these just slide right out like that. And then you can put his, this is what the extended claw looks like. So here you can kind of take a nice look at it. It's nice. I mean, I love that they come with these little bits. The Medicom ones, I'm not sure if they came with extended arms. They might have. But, so these snap in like this. So you can do that, and you get two of them. So here's the second one. And you can put that, of course, in this side, which I'm not going to do because it's kind of a hassle. But yeah, so they're there. You can put, so you can have him have his claw extended like that. And this will close. Not all the way, but that's fine. So that's cool. I like it. Let me take this one out again. Put this one back in. I like him to look normal. All right, oops. The parts are small, so just know they're a little fiddly. You're going to have to fiddle with these a little bit. Sorry, it was out of camera. Oh, actually, they're bent, aren't they? They have to go in a certain way. Very interesting. I never noticed that. Yeah, if you look at this little post right here, it's got a little angle to it. Huh, I didn't even notice that until just now. Seems like I'm always discovering something on these guys. Maybe if I can get this in. Oh my gosh. All right, well oh, there we go. It's about ready to pause it, but we got it. All right, so these can now close again. Okay, and then another cool part, and this is probably one of my favorite parts, is whenever Vincent was shooting his lasers out, they would actually extend out, which is pretty cool. So these are also another fiddly part. Now, I had already messed with these earlier, but I left them off a little loose so I could get them off a little easier to make this video. But they're kind of hard to get to. You have to kind of stick your nail in there, or maybe even a little knife. But you don't want to. You got to be careful. You don't want to scratch it. But they're like they're really hard to get out of here. Like I'm struggling with that right now. Okay, so then you get these pieces, and I love these. So these are the cool little extended laser bits. I think those are so neat. And it's like a solid piece of plastic where that post goes through. I hope that's focusing. I'm sorry if this is out of focus, everybody. Okay, so let's put these in here. And they just kind of snap in. These snap in pretty easily, so there you go. Now he's got his looks like he's going to go out and shoot somebody. He's going to outshoot Star. That's cool. I really like that. I'm probably going to pose him like that. I think that looks really cool. I love it. Okay, so then he also comes with this piece, and I have no idea what this is. It's some kind of a, let me see if I can focus on this. It's some kind of a silver silver thing. And yeah, I don't know. It's like an extension thing. The only thing I can think of is if I can remember in the movie, maybe when he was in the ship with the other crew members, wasn't he piloting the ship or something? And this is something I just came upon by accident, but I happened to be looking on the underside, and if you look here, you can see this kind of little opening right here. I was kind of wondering what the heck that was, and I realized that this little panel actually opens. And so then I thought it just pops off, but it doesn't. You have to kind of push on the bottom, and then it flips down like this. So now you got this opening little panel like that. So once again, no instructions to tell you all of this stuff, Diamond Select. And, and maybe this goes in here. I mean, because it's short, I mean, it could be an extension on his arm. I don't know, but it does kind of look like something that would fit here. Like it's a little, like, I don't know. I'm guessing maybe it's something like a little probe or some kind of a little arm extension or something. So that's my guess, that's what that is. If you guys know, hey, make a comment down below, because I really don't know what that is. But yeah, there's a little compartment there, so just be aware of that. Okay, so now let's take a look here. I think that's all the accessories as far as like his arms and stuff like that. He does have, his head will turn, and it's a pretty smooth mechanism. And also, which I didn't know he would do this, but you know how his head can go down in the body? Well, this actually can do that. You just push on it. And it's kind of a really smooth mechanism. But look at that. He actually hides his face like that. That is so cool. That is awesome. I love it. So you could just kind of pull it up like this. It's a nice tight mechanism. It clicks back into place when you got it all the way up. And then this is the other thing I thought was really cool. So if I remember in the movie, I don't remember what was going on. I think he was fighting with Maximilian, and something was happening where he was almost getting overloaded with electricity or something like that. And when he does, this little part of his head comes up, and this is kind of tight. So let me see if I can get it. But inside there, you can actually see the little dome and his little brain in there. So that actually raises up. You can see what it looks like on the inside there. But yeah, that is so cool. I love that they added that feature. That is totally an extra bonus that I would have never noticed. And there's nothing on the packaging that shows that it does that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. That's really neat. So, oh, it looks like I'm going to have to push it all the way in to get it back out. So, it's like I said, some of this stuff is a little fiddly, but okay. So, yeah, that was really cool. I like that they had that. So, yeah, those are some cool features of his head. All right, so I think that was all of the features for him. Now, Bob here, he doesn't really have... I mean, poor Bob. Anyway, he doesn't have any extended pieces. Like his arm, this does have a ball joint on it, so you can kind of move this around a little bit, and there is a ball joint in there. But as far as extra pieces, he doesn't have any. I was wondering if his head went down like Vincent's does, but what his does is he actually has a little bit of a pivot, so you can actually make his eyes get lower. Or sadly, when he passed away, he kind of, his head kind of went down like that. So yeah, he does it, and it doesn't move much, but it's just enough to kind of give him a little bit of posability and kind of a different way that you can make him look. So yeah, I thought that was cool. But so yeah, that's kind of all that he has. Okay, so then these stands, they're these clear stands that have the ball joints, and they also they're pretty long. I have these extra pieces right here. I didn't need mine this long, so I shortened them down to this because I do want them to stand on the diorama. So, oh, I should also mention too, when I took these guys out of the package, just to let you know, you might want to inspect them a little closely because Vincent had a few little spots of paint that were scraped off, and even though they're in the packaging pretty tight with those god-awful twist ties, it's still I still found some scratches on them. So on this side in particular, you'll notice the paint is kind of a little screwy right here. Well, it was actually a black chunk. you could see the black paint underneath it, and it looked pretty bad. So I had to do a quick little touch up on there. It doesn't look the best, but it looks better than that black that was shown because it was really obvious. So I just took some model paint and touched it up. And also on the back here, along this ridge here, was some black showing, and a little bit on this side too. So I had to touch all of that up too. So there's just a few little spots I had to touch up. So you might want to, when you get these guys, just kind of check them out a little bit, especially Vincent, because he's more smooth. And it's hard, you know, when you have a figure that's silver like this, it's hard to keep them scuff-free, for the manufacturer, I mean, because silver paint scratches so easily. And then when it scratches, it's really visible. And then when you want to fix it, the repair is visible because the light hits it from every direction. You know, Bob here, he's so dented up that it kind of doesn't matter. And he's also got a little bit of weathering on him too. I don't know if you can see it on this camera, but there's kind of like a little bit of dirtiness to him, which is really cool. So I think that's nice that they kind of added that. These things are so cool. I mean, I'm really loving these things. And also Bob is really heavy. I don't know why. I mean, he's not really heavy, but compared to Vincent's pretty light. But when you pick up Bob, he's like this solid thing. I had to make sure that the screws on here were tight because he would pull down on the stand. All right, so one of the parts I wanted to discuss that I mentioned in my last video is, let me bring it in here, is this thing right here. So in my Maximilian video, and you can go check that out if you want to, but this is what I was discussing in there. This is the Diorama, and it's a pretty nice thing. Let me see if I can kind of zoom out. Okay, so what I couldn't figure out in the Maximilian one is all I got was this back wall and this cardboard insert piece. And I thought, well, where the heck is the floor and the railing? Well, thank you to everybody who commented on my last video, and a shout out to Kid Chuckle. Love your name. Anyway, he in particular mentioned that he had verified that the pieces are separated in both sets. So the Vincent and the old Bob set comes with the rail and the floor, and then Maximilian comes with the wall and the back insert, which is kind of, I'm not really sure I like that, but I mean, because you had to buy both to get this thing, but at the same time, I think 95% of us are going to buy both sets anyway. And so these guys will fit on here if you keep them short enough. If you keep the stand short enough, they'll fit on there, and I'm definitely going to pose them on here. I think that looks so cool. I'm really glad they provided this little diorama. It's really nice. What a nice touch to do that. Oh, and another thing I want to mention is when I was putting this railing on, this middle post, the little stud that goes down inside the hole in the black part, was a little too thick, and I was pushing on this and pushing on this. And so if you have that issue, you might want to take a hobby knife and just kind of shim that down a little bit, because when I was pushing on this, I was scared I was going to break it, and it's more than likely going to break right here. So just shim it down so it'll fit in there. The ones on the end went in pretty good, and it's tight. I mean, it's got a nice tight fit in there. But that's just something to kind of keep an eye on. And also, these come with these, and I didn't know what they were, but what they are is on the bottom, you have these little, some of you guys may know this already, it's new to me, but they're little connectors that snap onto here. And then I'm assuming that you can connect another base with this one, which means that they are probably going to make some more figures, which is a really good thing. And I think somebody commented on my last video also that if these sell well, that Diamond Select will make some more figures. So hopefully we'll get Star and some of the sentries and the humanoids. Oh, that'd be cool to get the humanoids with a removable mask. Oh, that'd be so cool. So yeah, so hopefully they'll produce more. In fact, I bought another set of these guys just to have, maybe keep them in the package. And these ones, one to play, one to display is what I always say. All right, well anyway, that's what these guys look like. They're really cool. If you're a black hole fan, oh, by far, get these things. They're great. They're far bigger than the old original figures, and they're really detailed. Diamond Select did such a good job on these, so thank you to them for producing black hole figures, kind of a void in the science fiction figure market that has never really been satisfied, so I'm really glad that they're doing this. So yeah, if you want them, get them, because they're really cool. All right. Anyway, thanks guys, and thank you for watching, and I appreciate it, and have a great day.